So we are now in week 2 of our Lenten series. Remembering that Lent is a time of preparation. Time of preparation when we work towards that rising up of the Christ consciousness within each of us, the time of Easter. So we're reminded of this time, that this is a time for really developing our spirituality, for really paying attention to where we are on a journey, to endeavoring to become more spiritual with the various tools that we have, with various ideas that we might work with throughout the week. Last week, I shared with you that we could begin to create a focus on our lives of spirituality, to be reminded always, remember that we are spiritual beings having that human existence, and to really work towards that, to become more aware of that, to let the spirituality within us emerge. And we might begin by washing our lenses, to how we see things, opening up to new perspectives. We see things so much through our own lenses and through the filters that we have, and sometimes those filters get clogged. And so by cleaning or changing the filter or washing the lenses by which we see, and we can begin to see more of the incredible wonder of life, the majesty of life. There's so much more if we're able to open our eyes. And in so doing, as we do that, we might actually experience that blessed awakening, which I want to talk about today. If you've ever had one of those aha moments, when all of a sudden, aha, all things kind of just come together and you have a deeper understanding of something, or some pieces fit together and you just, I understand that now. I get it. Well, sometimes have that exceptional insight, like, I see that now, I understand that. Well, take that experience and multiply it by 100. And that's a blessed awakening. The awakening, it's an oh my God event. It's truly one of those oh my God events when you understand deeply within your soul, your heart, and your mind, when you know your oneness with God or your oneness with all others, when you experience the light, when you are connected to the universal intelligence of creation. That blessed awakening when all of a sudden, whoa, I see things anew. When you know your own spirituality and you transcend your humanness and recognize that we are all one on that spiritual plane together. Sometimes it takes us by surprise. And the other interesting thing about the Blessed Awakening, you can't force it to happen. Today, right now, I want that Blessed Awakening. You can't quite force it. It simply comes upon us as we prepare for it and allow it to happen. And it's just so cool and so wonderful. The story that I love that I want to share with you. It's about a carpenter who was building some crates for the clothes his church was sending to an orphanage in China. On his way home, he reached into his shirt pocket to find that his glasses, they were gone. He remembered putting them there that morning as he drove back to the church. He looked everywhere for his glasses. He said, I know I had them this morning, but his search proved fruitless. When he mentally replayed his actions, he realized what had happened. The glasses probably slipped out of his pocket, unnoticed, and fallen into the crates, which he had already nailed shut, and were now on their way to China. Well, the Great Depression was in its height, and the man had 6 children. He'd spent $20 for those glasses that very morning. It's not fair, he told God as he drove home in frustration. I've been faithful in giving of my time and money to your work, and now this? Well, several months later, the director of the orphanage was on furlough in the United States. He wanted to visit all the churches that supported him in China. So he came to speak one night at the small church in Chicago. The carpenter and his family sat in their customary seats among the sparse congregation. The missionary began by thanking the people for their faithfulness in supporting the orphanage. He said, but most of all, he said, I must thank you for the glasses you sent last year. You see, the communists had just swept through the orphanage, destroying everything, including my glasses, and I was desperate. Even if I had had the money, there was simply no way to replace my glasses. Along with not being able to see well, I experienced headaches every day, so my coworkers and I were much in prayer about this. Then your crates arrived, and when my staff removed the covers, they found a pair of glasses lying on top. The missionary paused a long time, just enough to let his words sink in, and then gripped with the wonder of it all, he continued, folks, I tried on the glasses, and it was as though they had been custom made just for me. I want to thank you for being a part of that. Now the people listened, happy for this miraculous glasses. But the missionaries certainly must have confused their church with someone else, because they didn't pack any glasses in these crates that went overseas. But sitting quietly in the back, with tears streaming down his face, an ordinary carpenter realized the master carpenter had used him in an extraordinary way. That is a blessed awakening. When you all of a sudden realize that you are part of something bigger, that what you do, intentionally or unintentionally, makes a difference. When you know that you are connected to people all over the world in some fashion, when you just experience that and know that in a powerful and meaningful way, it's the awareness of, oh my God, I made a difference. I made a difference in someone else's life, or someone makes a difference in yours. Or when you experience that miracle and say, oh, this is a miracle. It's a blessed awakening as we are reminded of the incredible mystery of life and how we all come together in interesting and powerful and wonderful ways. It's also a moment when we realize that all the things that we are paying attention to, all of life's ups and downs, the measure of life that we strive to attain, the goal, the struggle, all of these things are of no consequence when we realize our spirituality. When we hear the call to rise up and let God lead us. It's when we're able to say, use me, oh God. Or we are reminded of the biblical verse, not my will, but thy will be done. There's so much more to life than what we can experience with our senses and than what we experience day by day. In each life, in our humanness, we may see as ordinary, and yet it is extraordinary. Your life is extraordinary in every facet of it. And to see the extraordinary, to really see it, sometimes we have to slow down a little bit. We get so busy doing the things of our humanity that we sometimes need to just slow down and experience the extraordinary. Rabbi Levi saw a man running in the street, and he asked him, well, why do you run? And the man replied, well, I'm running after my good fortune. Well, Rabbi Levi tells him, silly man, your good fortune's been trying to chase you, but you keep running away from it. Which is somewhat true, because we are so often moving so fast that if we stopped and realized where we are in the extraordinary moment with our extraordinary lives, we might have that blessed awakening when we know, we just know who we are and that we make a difference. This is one of my favorite books, the Book of Awakening. I've suggested that we order it for a bookstore, and I'm sure that we will. There are daily little stories each day, one for each day, and it's written by a Buddhist. But he talks about at the pace of what is real. And he says, sometimes we run our lives like trains, speeding along a track laid by others, going so fast that what we pass blurs on by. Then we say, well, we've been there, done that, taken care of this, checklist. The truth is that blurring by something is not the same as experiencing it. So no matter how many wonderful opportunities come my way, no matter the importance placed on these things by others who have my best interests at heart, I must somehow find a way to slow down the train that is me until I pass by, until what I pass by is again seeable, touchable, feelable. Otherwise, I will pass by everything. I can put it on my resume, but I will have experienced and lived through nothing. So it's an opportunity for us as we think about slowing down and just being open to what is available to us in every moment. Because that's when we might experience that incredible blessing, an awakening of sorts. I'm awake, I'm in the moment, and I experience this, and I feel this. To be awakened to feel these things, of which we can expect in our lives if we are open to them, then why wouldn't we want to be in that moment, experience it? Sometimes we get caught up in challenges, and so when we get in a challenge or in a difficulty, it's like, fix this, fix that, fix this, fix that. We're sort of in that mode here. But perhaps we can settle down and say, wait a minute, what is the extraordinary blessing? What is the awakening that's within us, even as a spiritual community? Sometimes it's a challenge in every adventure. Can we enjoy the journey of where we are? Can we enjoy this process and have fun with this as we explore our spirituality and as we enhance it? The important thing is to acknowledge what is within. And of course, I have a story to illustrate. An apple grower had built up a good mail order business and was justifiably proud of his product. He had a great apple. His apples were wonderful. They were crisp, juicy, bright red, and shiny as a carefully polished brass rail. He was proud. His customers came to expect only the best in taste and appearance. Then one year, a hailstorm occurred just before the harvest. Nearly every apple was marred by hail. The apple grower had thousands of orders and checks, and his customers were fully expecting baskets and boxes of his bountiful fruit for the holiday season. Those beautiful fruit. Now he had a problem. If he sent out the pot-marked fruit, he would have thousands of dissatisfied customers, and his business would suffer, perhaps even dry up. The problem was the appearance of the apple. The fact was, they tasted really great. The taste was better than normal, in fact, because the cold weather improves the flavor of apples when they are approaching ripeness. So the grower decided to fill the orders that he had. But with each shipment, he enclosed a card that said, "Note, the hail marks that have caused minor skin blemishes on some of these apples, they They are proof that they have been grown in the high mountains at altitude, where the sudden chills from hailstorms help firm the flesh, develop the fruit sugars, and give these apples incomparable flavor. Nobody sent the apples back. And the next year, the apple grower got orders with many notes expressing a preference for the hail-marked apples rather than the unblemished. So we have to sometimes look at things and experience whatever it is, and how do we maximize that experience? How do we really open up to the new possibilities that come with each challenge that, might even bolster us up, rise us up into something even greater? With the apple story, what matters is that metaphorically, it's not what the appearance is, but it's what's within. It's the good tasting apple within. That's what's important. So it's acknowledging our inner essence for each of us, and also for our center. What matters is the soul of this community. What matters is the heart of each one of us. And when we know that, when we acknowledge that, then amazing things begin to happen. We can do this. There's a young girl who was depressed because she was not beautiful. Ever been there? She was discouraged, but as she grew older, her attitude changed. She said, I realized that not being beautiful was actually a blessing in disguise. It forced me to develop inner resources and strength, and I came to understand that women who can't lean on their beauty must work harder to have the advantage. This woman, Golda Meir, went on to become the first woman prime minister of Israel. She not only accepted herself, but she rejoiced in who she was. And she was 71 years old when she became the prime minister. Some sort of message in there for all of us, that it's never over. It's never too late. And it's never about appearances. It's about the soul. It's about the heart. It's about that which we have within that can move us to that blessed awakening that all is perfect, that all is unfolding in beautiful divine order, and that we are one with an incredible mystery of unfoldment. And we've all been called together through this journey to be one with it and to experience it and to rejoice in it. The Blessed Awakening is when we come to know who we are, ourselves. When we are open to possibilities. When we shed our limitations and when we open up to that which is greater than us. Recognizing and experiencing our God self. And final point of the Blessed Awakening is to trust in God. To know that with God, all things are possible. It's not all left up to us. True, we have to play our part. We have to step forward. We have to do what we do. But when we exclude God, we won't expect miracles, and we limit quite severely what is possible for us. So we want to know and say what we are doing. With God, all things are possible. Price Pritchett wrote this. I read it occasionally. It says this: I'm sitting in a quiet room and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life and death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life's energy in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. And it's not working. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed in breaking through the window. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. This fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Ironically, across the room, 10 steps away, the door is open. 10 seconds of flying time, and the small creature could reach the outside world it seeks. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach? Something dramatically different. How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? Trying hard isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hopes for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. To me, the point is, like a fly, we sometimes use our instincts to continually to do this, to fly hard, to hit the wall over and over and over again, trying to break through that wall or that glass pane. Not opening up to other ways of being, other ways on the journey. What if we start to fly around and look for other opportunities, other avenues? When we ask for guidance from God, that's what makes us so incredibly unique. We have that ability to get guidance from God, to ask for, where might I go? Where might I fly? With God, all things are possible. What needs to change? What different path might I take in order to truly get to the open door, and with it, the blessed awakening that unlimited possibilities are there for me, are there for us. I'm often reminded when I'm trying really hard towards something that maybe I'm acting like the fly. Trying to break through a glass window that will never result in success. So if we could open ourselves up to the possibilities, let's fly around and see, where is there an open door? And with God, all things are possible. Let me open up to the guidance of that inner wisdom that will take me there to something so much more glorious than banging my head against the window. So for this week, in our Lenten preparedness for our great Easter Sunday, when we rise up in Christ consciousness, I'd like you to consider these things for this week. Remember that you are a part of the human life, a symphony of human life, and that everything you do has an impact on others. Everything you do has an impact on others. We are all intertwined. Love that. Appreciate that. And know that we're on a journey together. 2, slow down enough to truly experience life. Every facet of it, the good and the bad, be present with it. Do that for yourself individually. And collectively we can do that for our spiritual center. Just be with this, experience this, be present to it, opening to it, and not trying to hit ourselves in the head on the window pane and miss the incredible opportunities that are here for us. Number 3, pay attention to your inner life. Remembering that we are spiritual beings, having that human existence. So come to know yourself, love yourself, and not be too preoccupied with the trimmings. Let's be aware of our core, our stand for. Trust in God and know that with God all things are possible. We are in partnership with God. We are co-creators with God. We are spiritual beings connected with that divine. And when we open to that, the guidance and the love and the direction and the fulfillment will lead us to incredible, blessed awakenings of the truth of who we truly are. Let every day this week be a blessed awakening for you, being open to that, slowing down enough to acknowledge the blessing